in any means, even extreme. But we call upon God as our first reaction, offering an alternative, a divine attraction. She'll disappear, open where they aspire to detour them to show a path is higher. A profitable outcome, pleasing to God's sight, benefiting the 99%, shining a guiding light. Generational turnaround, open doors wide for more people to thrive. No one left behind, seeking truth, unraveling the wild. One decision to turn around the divide.
Oh my goodness. Let me turn this music up. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Judy Ambrose. Welcome to 2025. Can you believe it? Yeah, I can. Because I've been waiting for this moment to be back on Generational Turnaround Show, where we seek the truth. And then I bring you the proof from the guests who I invite to be on the show because they are professionals in their fields. Now, while I was gone for a couple months, I want you to know that I have tripped, I've fallen, but I've never stayed down. Now, some of you don't know me, and of course, you're looking at the name Judy Ambrose. Well, that is my God-given name, but it was Judy Ambrose James, and I have been divorced at least over 20 years. And so I say this to say this. I am into a new year. All old things are behind me. And James was an old thing. And now I'm back as Judy Ambrose, and I am ready to go. I am strong. I am invincible. This is my year. There's a whole lot of things that's going to happen that I started last year, and I'm going to complete this year. And one of them is, let me get a good grip here, is my new book. It is Healing Words, Speaking Life into the Generations, a Parent Guide. Now, the reason I wrote this book is because I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I am auntie, and everybody else. Okay, I have lots and lots of nieces and nephews that I met on TikTok. And so I went there with Generational Turnaround. That was my mandate. But before then, Activate Your Faith is what, look, I had a massive stroke 17 years ago. And that turned my life around. I didn't know that it would be for the better. I couldn't see that far. Not 17 years ago. I would never have thought that I would be right here, because when I had that massive stroke, I lost the use of my entire right side. And that was my dominant time, my dominant side. And as you can see, my speech is still a work in progress because I lost that too. But not to worry. As you can see, I am blessed and highly favored. Now, I don't know if you all recognize that for yourself, but I definitely recognize it for me. When I look back over my life, I've tripped, I've fallen, but I've never stayed down. And that is the key component. Never stay down. And so when I had the massive stroke, of course, like anyone else, I was just starting all over again. But God didn't rush it. As a matter of fact, almost all the people that I was associating with, all of a sudden, they were, no, they weren't there. And I was a little upset. I was a little disappointed because I had been tried to be all things for all people. I mean, I had put that in my head that it couldn't be done unless I was doing it. So they can call me. Anybody can call me. And I would rush out to try to make it happen. Well, God said, not this time. This time is for you, Judy. You and I, God and me. And it's like he put this sign on my head that says temporarily out of order. Well, imagine that. God put me on the potter's wheel, okay? Because I really needed some work. And so these went on for years, not days, not months, but years. And I got to a place, a position where I felt like my old self again. I mean, at least in the mind, in my mind, I felt like nothing had happened that I could not take care of. Now, not an ego. It wasn't an ego, but it was faith. I activated my faith, which were words that God gave me. I didn't. He said, activate your faith. And he told me to take those words to the masses. It was right at the time of COVID. In the world, not the country, but the world didn't know what on earth they were going to do. And God said to me, after I think the count was 200,000 of our loved ones that were gone. And when I heard that, I couldn't believe it. It was like I couldn't have heard what I thought I heard. Well, that was the count. And I sat down and I asked God, I said, if I were still doing the job that I had before the stroke, I would be considered a frontline worker. I would have been right there in the front because I was a police dispatcher when I had the stroke. So, needless to say, I believe that I might even still been there when COVID hit. So it was naturally for me to ask God, what can I do? I'm sitting in a wheelchair. I'm sitting back watching the news. And yet I'm thinking about what I would have been doing and how can I help now? I didn't get an answer right away, but later on that day, the words activate your faith was revealed to me. I wasn't quite sure of why God was saying that to me because my faith was activated and it has been for a while. So I'm thinking, why is God? But then, of course, I asked him, what can I do? That's what activate your faith. That was for me to take to the masses. Then I hit the ground running, and any and everybody that I met in any junction, at any detour, in any form of fashion, I became the woman who was known for the phrase, activate your faith, the answer to any and everything. And so, again, I hit the ground running. Most time in my wheelchair, sometime with the quad cane, because that's one or the other. But I was still moving. I was moving. And so I'm going to jump ahead to where I am now. I have a TV show. I have a book that I know and believe that you all are going to help me become a #1 international best-selling author. Now, I have been that before, but it was in an anthology. This is not an anthology. These are the words that God gave me when 2 days before I was to have the GT Summit. And GT, of course, was the Generational Turnaround Summit. And God spoke to me and he said, there's only one way that you are going to start a generational turnaround in this country. You will have to introduce to the young people and the older and the parents. You have to introduce healing words, speaking life to the generation. And a lot of young people have not experienced healing words. Some, you older people may be familiar with healing words, but some young people have never had anyone care enough to repeat healing words to them, like love, like peace, like family, the compassion, empathy, understanding. They have not had those words put with their name. They have not experienced the heart of someone loving them so much that the heart, I know, and you might say, I don't think that's true. But you might say that because you have experienced all of your life love, peace, empathy, compassion. There are, they are young people who've never experienced that. And when God gave me the words in this book, and He gave me every chapter from the foundation of God all the way to the face of incarceration. Seemed like one would have nothing to do with the other. But if we don't start using healing words with our young people who are hurting, if we don't flip, if we don't start recognizing that there's a lot of young people hurting, mental, emotional, physical, and don't start using healing words when talking to them, when explaining to them. We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. We just straight out gonna lose. So I pray, not pray, just pray. Pray that your heart of hearts will love your neighbor as you love yourself. This is season 1, episode 1, and I'm having it by myself. I didn't want any guests on this, and maybe a couple more episodes you see me, because I want to do these one-on-ones so you know. Now, I'm not there's a possibility that I may stutter and I may pause. What I didn't tell you is 5 years ago, I took a fall, fell, and subdural hematoma. I had 2 craniotomies. The second craniotomy put me in a coma. 2 brain surgeries. And it was like starting all over again, physically, but mentally and emotionally. I was sure that whatever would come from that God already had a hold on me. And whatever the outcome was going to be in my favor. Well, the outcome was he brought me back. He brought me back on Mother's Day. And again, I hit the ground running for the next assignment. And you are with me right now for the next assignment. And that is to start this generational turnaround. And it's not just for our young people, it's for all of us. Because what's going on and what's been going on, even after God showed us through COVID, and he saved so many of us when it could have been the end of the world. It wasn't. And here we are now, getting ready to go into another, well, I don't know what to call it, but we have another president. There's another group going into the White House. But not to worry, because God has already given us, revealed to us our purpose. So 2025 is here, and purpose driven. We are all purpose driven. So let's get started. If we haven't kick-started your year, go ahead. Don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will take care of itself. God has taken care of tomorrow. So I'm going to be back. And we're going to talk about more. We're going to talk about this book. We're going to talk about ways in which we are going to use healing words. And it's not just going to be me, y'all. Don't worry about that, because the people that I'm bringing from the background to the forefront to talk and teach you healing words, believe me, they've got and had plenty practice in healing words. They are from, they are, we've got some people from work with mental health. We've got some people that works in behavioral health. We've got some teachers, preachers, reachers, and they're going to come here, and they're going to, we're going to share stories of what worked and how they came into a young person's life. and made a difference so that you could possibly take from those stories and go out and make a difference. Because it's all about making a difference. So hold on. Wait a minute. Make a difference in your community, in your family. I pray that today is better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow. I pray that tomorrow will bring forth a double portion of blessings in the form of opportunity that you never saw coming. Good night. See you. Let's see. What's today? Next Thursday. Sometimes that happens to me, but don't worry. Not to worry. It only lasts for a moment.